Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us at Ren Radio. Today, I'm going to be taking a step back and allowing one of our sweet students to introduce everybody. And here we go.
Welcome to History. And today we're going to be starting with Brantley.
Hello, and thank you for joining me. My name is Brantley, and today we will explore the remarkable life and achievements of Galileo Galilei. Born in 1564 in Pisa, Italy, Galileo was a pioneering scientist who is often credited with the invention of the telescope. Although not the inventor, he did improve it from a spyglass, increasing its power by 20 times. Through this invention, he discovered the four largest moons of Jupiter, providing evidence that not all celestial bodies revolve around Earth. His observations of Venus demonstrated that it did not rotate around our planet, laying the groundwork for the heliocentric theory. Additionally, he made significant advancements, including the creation of a thermometer, which measured temperature changes, much like a thermostat. Galileo also invented the military compass, enhancing soldiers' aiming accuracy and enable merchants to perform complex calculations. His work with the pendulum improved timekeeping accuracy, allowing doctors to monitor their patients' heartbeat with greater precision. His experiments with microscopes were instrumental in advancing biology. Despite the groundbreaking revolutions about our solar system, he faced opposition from the church for publishing two dialogues in 1632 that supported his heliocentric model. He famously stated, "And yet it moves," expressing his unwavering belief in the sun-centered perspective. Ultimately, he was found guilty and sentenced to house arrest for the rest of his life. Like many scientists, Galileo's theories initially faced skepticism, but were eventually validated by subsequent research. His contributions to science ensured that he did not die in vain. He became a legendary figure whose insights continue to shape our understanding of astronomy and other fields. His life serves as an inspiration, showcasing the importance of creativity and the courage to question established theories. Even in the face of adversity, despite the challenges he faced, including the desire for his father's respect, he pursued his passion for mathematics and emerged as one of history's most esteemed scientists. Now I have a question for you. Did Galileo actually invent the telescope?
Great job. Now, and next up is Taylor.
Hello everyone, it's your favorite gossip girl back in action, and today I'm going to be talking about royal gossip, specifically the lives of king and queens. To start off this month's section of Gossip with Grace, Taylor Grace, I will be starting with Galileo. As you may or may not have realized, a recurring family in our discussions is the Medici. That's who Galileo had a substantial amount of gossip associated with. He was very involved with the Medici and even named celestial bodies after them. I heard they were called the Medicean stars. He was even crowned their personal scientist, or more specifically, their personal mathematical physiographer. Phew, that is a lot to take in. But here's even more. Although many things were of utmost importance in Galileo's time, what you wore could have been a real life or death situation. Personally, if I lived in the Renaissance, I would be a princess. No, a queen. Shall we dive deeper into the juicy tidbits that surround the queen's outfits? There was gossip spreading around that many queens, like Queen Catherine de' Medici, would never repeat an outfit. Okay, maybe I don't fit best as a queen due to my often outfit repetition. Well, many lack the dignity that it takes to be a queen. What about a more relatable figure? Andrea Pagliato. He needed patrons, so he would work for families that would soon become his patrons. Although it is sad that on one hand you have people like Andrea Pagliato, and on the other hand, queens that would likely burn a gown after wearing it, we shall keep going. Let's not linger any time more. On to our next figure, Michelangelo. Many people knew him as a bit of a grump. He did not often spend his free time with family, if he had any free time. He spent most of his days working on his elegant works of art. I heard his works were so beautiful, in fact, that many would ask him for specific paintings or sculptures, and he would get quite overwhelmed or frustrated. Alright, on to our next interesting figure. Gerardus Mercator was a famous and wonderful mapmaker. He was known for having the most accurate map-making skills, and once one of his maps hit the street, they were like gold to the people. I'm sure there was much gossip surrounding his maps. Okay, although being a famous mapmaker was fun, there are other things that were cool too, such as theater. There was much gossip in theater, but I'm going to keep it sweet and short. Queen Elizabeth I had such a magical presence that people believed she was the real Titania from A Midsummer's Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. Now we're going to tick-tock on our way over to clockmaking and timekeeping, combining two of the famous people we've already covered, Galileo and Queen Elizabeth I. They worked together. Well, more like Galileo worked and Queen Elizabeth got the word out. When Galileo first created a clock, the Queen was so impressed, she ordered clocks to be brought in to help kept on time. But they would give her new and updated clocks and say that they were from the heavens. So all the clockmakers were kept on their toes trying to create the best clocks for the Queen. That's very fascinating, but we're almost finished. Just 3 more important figures to go. Starting with Maria Kunitz. Her gossip begins when people just started realizing that she was a real genius. But since her books involved talk of royal patrons, her intelligence was often questioned, and people pondered, is she receiving such attention because of her genius or because of her royal patrons? Now, Claudio Monteverdi. His music was a debatable type. Many argued that it was not good enough to put in simpler terms. But after the royals heard what praise he was getting for his wonderful music, they slowly backed off. Now on to our last figure for this month, John Napier. Although there's not much royal gossip surrounding him, there is a little bit about his religion. He believed that using his mathematical intelligence and the Bible, he could find out what was going to happen in the future. While this did cause much bickering, he continued to search for answers. But since many did not believe, it caused much tension. Well, although I am sad to say, Gossip with Grace has come to a close for this month. I thank you all so much for listening, and I can't wait for next time when I'll be talking about even more gossip. And until next time, stay fabulous. Goodbye.
Woo, that was good. It was perfect. Okay, stop. Now, next up is Amelia. It's time for a break, really quick.
dear listeners. I'm Amelia, and today I'm going to talk about famous Italian sculptor and painter Michelangelo. He's most known for his sculptures, the David and the Pieta, as well as the frescoes on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. A fresco is a painting technique where you apply pigments to wet lime plaster, causing the colors to become absorbed into a wall or ceiling, in this case. Michelangelo made his sculptures with blocks of marble using the subtractive method. That is where you carve away pieces until you reach your desired form. Though he was quite famous, he was not the most pleasant person to be around. He was often considered hot-headed and extremely competitive. He strongly disliked Leonardo da Vinci, calling his art bland and, on some occasions, destroying his art pieces. How rude of him! They were complete polar opposites. It's very strange, you know. Yes, he was crazy. Yes, he was crazy. Michelangelo played an important role in the Renaissance. With powerful emotions and bold poses in his art, he was a key influence to the Mannerists. Mannerism emerged in the 1520s. It consisted of bold poses, bright colors, and was often considered in a sophisticated manner. Before I go, I have a question for listeners. What are the paintings on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel called? I hope you enjoyed listening today and stay tuned for more.
Now it's time for Sammy.
Has anyone ever wondered how the clock works or why we have clocks? Well, I'm Sammy, and today I'm going to be talking about that. During the Renaissance, mechanical clocks revolutionized society by fostering a scene of shared standardized time, impacting trade, labor, and the concept of punctuality, and the becoming of symbols of status and technical advancements. Standardized timekeeping before clocks was often measured by the sun or church bells, leading to a lack of consistency. Mechanical clocks enabled a more precise and reliable way to measure, leading to a more structured and predictable society. The ability to measure time accurately financialized trade, travel, and communication. Fixed working hours and the concept of punctuality emerged, impacting labor in economic activities, status symbols, and technical marble clocks became status symbols, often adored with elaborate designs and decorations, and clock towers became permanent landmarks. They were also seen as a testament to human ingenuity and skill. Influence on art and culture. Renaissance clocks, with their intricate designs and reflected the artistic and scientific spirit of the era. They were considered both a scientific and an item of luxury. I bet you did not know that the first recorded invention of any clock was the creation of the water clock by the Egyptians or Babylons in the 14th century. The Chinese also built a similar clock around this time, which used mercury instead of water. Liquid mercury is a shiny silvery metal that is the only metal naturally occurring in a liquid state at room temperature. It is also toxic, historically known as quicksilver, and used in various applications like thermometers and electrical switches. And my question for the listeners is, who invented the clock?
Great job! Okay, that's enough. Now it's time for
CJ. G'day, mate. Hello, my fellow listeners. Welcome back. My name is CJ, if you don't remember. So, you probably get that all the time. Okay, let's jump right in. Let's talk about my good friend Andy Applaudier. Andy Applaudier was born November 30th, 1580, and died August 1580. He was an Italian Renaissance architect influenced by Roman and Greek architecture. What were Palladio main contributions to architecture? Well, let me tell you. Just give me one moment to do that, though. He is widely considered to be one of the most influential in the history of architecture. When he was 13, his father arranged for him to be apprentice stonecutter for 6 years. Palladio designed churches and palaces, but he was best known for country houses and villas. How did he influence later architects? The city of Vicenza has 23 buildings designed by Palladio, and his 24 villas in Ventu are listed by the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, as a part of a World Heritage Site named City of Vicenza and Palladian Villas of Vicento. He authored 4 books about architecture. Till next time, your good friend CJ.
Okay, stop. Okay, next up is, it's me. Hi, my name's Emma, and I want to talk to you about Maria Kunitz. She was born in Poland and died in 1610 and died August 22. She worked with Johannes Kepler, and they made a book called Urania Propetia. It was simplification of the Rudolphine tables written by Johannes Kepler in 1627. Before I say goodbye, I have a question for you. What was the book called again? Goodbye! Thank you so much. Okay, stop. Thank you so much, people. I love you so much. It's time for a break, really quick. Okay, next is Johnny.
Hello, my name is Johnny, and today I will be talking about John Napier. So, John Napier made two important things: the logarithms and the Napier's bones. The Napier's bones you should be able to see on screen because I asked our editor to put it on. So the logarithms made it easier to do multiplication and division. So he made it where you could take 19 and 79, and people could easily find out that it's equal to 1,501, which is pretty easy. But the Napier's bones made it to where multiplication could be done as addition and division could be done as subtraction. So, it is a type of calculator because it makes it easier. I'm pretty sure that a lot of you would love math to be easier.
Yes. Shut up.
How it works for multiplying is simple. I will even use an example. Say you are multiplying 347 by 6. We see on it that 6 is 8. That 3 times 6 is 18. 4 times 6 is 24. And 7 times 6 is 42. So, we put 18 on the bottom, add a 0 on top, and then put 2 with a 2 in the hundreds place. Then on top of that, we put a 0 in the ones and the tens place. And then we put a 2 in the hundreds place and a 4 in the thousands place. And it equals the answer that you want. And it is a little bit harder for division. What you do is you do have to rearrange it a little, but you will be able to see what a Napier's bones looks like, and you can see it on screen right now, so that you can make one and try out stuff. And it made it bigger to multiply and divide bigger numbers, so that you could do 1,256,451 times 57,246, and you would get to the answer. And it's a lot quicker and easier. And division is different, like what I said. What you do is, so for 8 and say 32 and 4, what you do is you get the rods 3 and 2. You add all of the things, and then you make a sort of picture where you have a box with 2 of the sides missing. The left and the bottom sides are missing, and on top there is a little extra box with no line underneath it. And you just subtract until you get the answer. Well, my question for the listeners is, what was I talking about? Because I don't really remember. Bye.
That question was very funny, but good job. Okay, next up is Ari, the last person in this group.
Well, I think there's one more person. Hello, it's me, Ari, and today we're looking at fashion for courts of Europe. Did you know that some rich people didn't wear expensive stuff? But why didn't rich people spend their money on rich stuff? They spend their money on stuff that was selling a while ago and not new stuff like you would think. Rich people wear clothes made from wool, silk, and cotton. In the courts of Europe, the sleeves were not connected to the dresses. My question for the listeners, what did rich people spend their money on? Well, I hope you enjoyed. Bye.
Now, that was great. I love that. Now, for the questions. Brantley, what was your question again?
Did Galileo invent the telescope?
No.
Did Galileo invent the telescope?
Yes.
Did Galileo invent a telescope?
The answer is no.
Oh, come on.
The answer is no. Now, Taylor, what was your question?
Since I covered all the people, I did not have a question because it'd be too hard.
Oh. Okay, now for Amelia. What's your question, my dear sister?
What are the paintings on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel called?
Paintings on these sisters.
Hey, raise your hand.
Now for Sammy.
Wait, hold on. They gotta get their answer.
Whatever it was.
What's it?
They were called something specific.
Do you know the answer?
They were called frescoes.
They were called frescoes. I got the answer right.
Fresco.
100%.
Now for Sammy.
Who invented the clock?
Who invented the clock?
Clock.
Anyone?
I got nothing. I
I don't know.
No one knows. The Egyptians and Babylon.
The Egyptian in Babylon.
Specific person.
Now you. What was your question?
What were Palladio's main contributions to architecture?
What?
What were Palladio's main contributions to architecture?
What?
3 letters. I-D-K.
Yeah, ID.
He
Okay.
was widely considered to be one of the most influential in the history of architecture.
Okay, now for my question. What was the book called again?
What was what called?
Pangea.
That they both made. What the heck?
What did Brantley say?
Urania Propitia. Now, time for Johnny's question. Question.
My question was, what was I talking about? Because I don't remember.
Math.
No, what was?
Okay. Thank you
Say
for joining
your
us.
Hey, bye.
Ari.
Wait. We forgot about Ari.
What did rich people spend their money on? They spent their money on older clothes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for joining us.
It's time for a break, really quick.